Warning! The following audio may contain coarse language and other material that may not be suitable for a younger audience. Listener discretion is advised. Also, we may spoil everything and anything, so you have been warned.
For some reason, okay. I think it's okay. I don't think it's a big deal.
Gene, do you have your coffee? What? Your coffee?
Yes, I do. Coffee?
Coffee?
No, it's coffee.
It's coffee.
Coffee?
Who the fuck says coffee?
Coffee.
You fucking New Yorker.
How the fuck do you say it?
Coffee.
Coffee.
Coffee?
What the
Coffee.
Well, Garn's saying it like me.
Some tea and crumpets.
Tea and crumpets.
I think Garn's making fun of you, though. That's why he's saying it like you.
Coffee.
Coffee.
Water. Okay.
Water.
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 Well,
Can I
hello
please
and
have
welcome to
some
this very
water?
special episode of PodTaku,
It's just like tea.
No.
Where we talk about water.
No.
where we talk about water and coffee and tea and crumpets.
That'd be absolutely smashing, Garrett.
Welcome to this wonderful episode of PodTaku.
Okay, there's our intro. Now, Space Dandy.
And today with me, I have Tristan Gallant from Arcada. From Last Reflection. And Holden from Holden Reviews.
Yes, quite.
And
Yes, it's quite
Gene from Anime Appraisal.
Good day, everybody.
Good night.
And
Or
I
good
am
evening,
Giguk from
whatever.
the Anime Zone. And first things first, I want to congratulate the four of us for being able to release videos
Within the same week.
within the same week, which I never thought was physically possible. So
Holy shit.
I don't think it's ever happened before, to be honest.
yes, I don't think that's ever happened before. And also another
I
thing
blame
want to
all
talk
three
about-
of you. I set
Nothing
you up
else.
almost every single week since we started.
Yeah, Tristan's
Yeah.
been carrying this team
Going on my
for
own.
how long now? It's. I think we've been pulling our own weight this week. So, congratulations to that. And before we start, we go on to what we've been watching. How about we talk about that thing that we just booked, guys, and that we're all gonna go to. So,
Yes.
Yeah, you know what? I guess it's
Are you
better
talking
to
about
talk about
space?
it in the beginning.
We're going to space. Space,
We're
right?
going to space.
We're going to space. It's space.
If we're going
No.
to
Space.
space, it's spelled ASEN, Anime
ACEN.
Central.
What's your favorite thing about space?
so
May
Well, who wants
16th
to
through
say it?
18th, we are all
We're
going
going
to be
ASEN.
arriving
we're going to
at
ASEN.
Anime Central, everyone.
Going to ASEN.
So,
Yes.
We will be
Chicago.
God, we are so boring with this announcement.
there. Yeah, we will be there from May 15th to May 18th. And we are trying. We applied
get a
for a
panel.
panel.
we are trying to.
We have applied for a panel. But,
Well, Tristan did,
we
because
don't-
Tristan always does all the hard work.
Yeah, because I'm doing all the wonderful bullshit in the background.
Yeah, Tristan always does the background work.
No, we have officially applied for a panel, but under the consideration that we've never done a panel before, A. Well, except for Garn, but that was his own panel. It wasn't a PodTaku panel. And B, whoever decides what the panels are may not know who we are and may decide that we're unimportant. We might not get a panel in the first place. This is a possibility
Yep.
we must.
So what you should do is you could contact ASEN and say, give that fucking PodTaku crew a panel. They're pretty cool people.
You could do that. That'd be great.
Or what
Yeah,
might
that'd
end up
be
happening
awesome.
is we might get a panel, and I saw this happen in Anime North a couple of times, where people got panels, and because the convention organizers didn't think that they were, like, gonna be that big, they gave them a small-ass room, and then, like, a couple of hundred people showed up to see the panel, and you couldn't even put, like, a quarter of that in the room, because they're so freaking small, so then they have to move you to a bigger room, and then they apologize, and then things like that, and they get to look like idiots.
And then you have to wait like a fucking hour for it to really start. And then you might
And
be
then-
And then
crunched
by
for
that
time
point,
We'll
it's
get to know.
by
scheduled.
that point, everything's on schedule. So you spend all this time moving everybody to a new room, and then by the time you start, you only have 15 minutes left.
Yeah.
To be fair, the 50% of like the attendance if we do get a panel would probably be us. Probably like 4 people.
Well,
and we'll be the other 4.
Well, they
There's just like one on one.
Two of us will be the panel. We'll just switch between audience.
What we do is we go square dancing with those 4 people that show up.
We'll just switch between audience and panelists.
We should just we'll record ourselves somehow at the panel.
Yeah.
Actually,
someone will bring a camera and we'll just set up a tripod in front of the panel thing and we'll just.
Or I'll just be like pointing at the crowd and be like, here's a camera pointed at us.
Yeah.
You break it, you buy it.
Holden-sama. Yes.
Senpai noticed me.
Yeah. Senpai
Like,
gave
do
me
it.
his
Yeah, that's what's
camera.
gonna happen. We're gonna pick out one person in the crowd. Holden's gonna pick out one person in the crowd.
Yeah, I'm going to pick out one person. I'm going to give you a camera and you're going to record us or I'm going to kill you.
This is your chance for Senpai to notice you guys.
Yeah, this is your chance because you will get all the credits for filming it.
If you want Senpai to notice you, please come to Anime Central from the 15th to the 18th, and you can hang out.
It starts the 16th. We all just arrive.
Yeah,
But you have to realize
Oh,
that
shit,
if
my
you have
bad.
the
It
camera,
is.
everybody that can't go to ASEN
Whoops.
is gonna blame you if you fuck it up.
Yeah, because you're gonna get the thousands of comments going, guys, why didn't you record, guys?
Why is he filming his shoes?
Why is he shaking? I can't see
Why is it
Garrett.
vertical
I want to
video?
see Garrett.
Did he record this on Holden's iPhone?
To be
The answer
fair,
might be yes, by
iPhones
the way.
actually have pretty decent cameras nowadays.
No, they do. But it would be vertical video. We'd have those huge black.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
You record it on your side, duh.
No. You're when you see a video on the internet, you know shit's gone down if it's a vertical video. Because
Yeah, you know that it was like it was such a spur of the moment thing that I couldn't reacquaint myself with knowing that videos are 16:9 now and not 9:16.
yeah,
Eventually,
it's
all
one
videos will be
telltale
vertical videos. They'll have to rebuild all theaters everywhere.
Theaters, man. Glove and boots.
Yeah. Shout out to Glove and Boots.
sign. Anyway,
Yeah,
now that
my
that's
man.
out of the way and that announcement, even though we're going to do an official
Well,
video,
regardless, if we don't have a panel, we'll probably just hang out in the lobby most of the day. So don't
We'll
get
be like,
discouraged.
meet
if
us
we
at
don't
this
get a panel.
time here and
yeah.
bring sandwiches.
Okay, you might be hanging out, but if I'm not in a panel, I'm in the dealer's room buying shit or scouting out shit.
Well, Tristan's
know.
going to be off by himself, but if you want to see me, Holden, and Gene, then, follow our Twitters and we'll be like, come meet us in the blah, blah, blah
I'm
room.
gonna be the biggest social butterfly here.
Maybe.
I mean, if anything,
Maybe.
at New York Comic Con, I was in the dealer room for like an hour or two, and then I was just fucking like walking
Being boring.
around
To be
the
fair, this
lobby.
is a pretty huge convention, Garin. Your previous one, Alcon, right?
Yeah.
Was that like 1,000, right? Wasn't that the
this
average
is
attendance?
more than 10 times.
This is 26,000.
Yeah,
so
this is more
There's
than
a
10 times what I
lot of people.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
we have to
there's a
plan
lot of
like
stuff.
fun things to do.
Well,
after
you can't really
hours.
plan on what to do until the schedule comes out, because what we might want to do all revolves around what is going on at the convention. There may be panels we want to go to. They may have things.
It'd be wicked if we could meet a voice actor and be like,
It
"Hi,
would be
voice
awesome.
There's
actor."
gonna be
It would
tons
be
of those
awesome.
people there.
Yeah. It would be
No,
awesome.
That'd be brilliant.
Like one time I went to ASEN a couple of years ago, they did a Sergeant Frog panel and they had all the entire cast there, and we watched an episode with the cast doing
Live
commentary.
commentary, man.
Live commentary. It was brilliant.
Oh, that's
Yeah, Aoki,
awesome.
can you please come to Anime Central? I'd love to watch Fate Zero with you.
Oh, we
would
should
too.
just live commentate
Wait,
a PodTaku
let's just-
episode.
Yeah, we should actually. Let's
Should
just
we
let
live
out right
comment
now
our
what
own
our
podcast?
dreams
That'd be
are.
awful.
No, we'll
Like-
live commentate this podcast that we're recording right now.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. All right, I have a question.
And this is
first.
the point
What's
where
up?
Gene gives a very stupid question.
Yeah.
No.
And I'm
Tristan?
commentating the live
Tristan.
commentary of the commentary of the podcast.
I
Okay.
almost forgot what I was going to
Bwom!
I was going
Inception.
to curse you. Okay, so before we move on to roll call, I want to know if we had to choose which PodTaku episode to commentate, which one would we do?
Christmas
Oh.
episode 2012.
Would Tatsuki
Yes.
Nagai be there? Because then we could talk about anything. I'd be like, Tatsuki Nagai, sit down, let's have a seat. Or if we had Tetsuo Araki, I'd be like, let's just talk about Guilty Crown just right now. Let's
Oh,
just talk
yeah.
about Attack on Titan, Death Note, and Guilty Crown in High School of the Dead.
I mean, oh my god, we have so many episodes we can commentate on.
there's so many.
I can't.
That'd be ridiculous.
It's either it's shit or Christmas 2012.
I think
episode.
commentary would be shit, to be honest.
would.
I think it'd be
I
like,
would just like to commentate
Shit.
on moments. Because I have so many moments.
No, you guys know that moment whenever you're listening to a PodTaku, and what happens is we're in a Skype call, and we're hearing ourselves over the recording. So we think it's just part of the recording, but we're zoning out the actual conversation that we're actually having.
Yeah.
Like
that was
last
happening last night.
Jean was listening to the description for the newest episode, and me and Garrett were talking with her. And to get her attention, we just had to start yelling at her.
It's like, Jean.
We're like, Jean, come to the present.
And I remember
No,
I was editing
hard.
the last PodTaku in a Skype call with Holden, and then Holden starts calling out Garnt. Now I thought it was in the podcast, and
So you ignore it.
So I ignored it, and he goes, "Garnt, Garnt, Garnt," and I was like, Holden's shouting out Garnt a lot in this podcast. That's really strange.
We'll have to edit that out.
Yeah, I gotta edit that out.
It's wow, these waveforms don't make sense.
And then he was like, "God, this is real life," and I was like, "Oh shit,
This is real life.
No, yeah, I was doing the waveform thing,
Clarification.
so if I heard something out of waveform, I was like, oh, I think they're trying to get my attention.
No, we're never trying to get your attention.
Anyway,
you know
shall
what, that's
we
pretty
get
true.
on to roll call, guys.
Yeah.
So
Let's start with you, Garnt.
Space Dandy.
Okay,
Space
well,
Dandy.
I guess Tristan has stolen my thunder there by
Yeah.
saying,
No, I haven't
"Oh my
stolen
God,
your
guys."
thunder. I'm the little asshole in the audience that are just yelling at you. Talk about Space Dandy, Garnt. Garnt.
Garnt, why are you
Talk about
ignoring me,
Space Dandy. And then when you
Garnt?
finish talking,
Shut up!
You know what I'm gonna say?
Shut up, guys! I will not. I'm not noticing.
I'm gonna say,
you right
talk
now.
about Space Dandy again.
Oh my God!
Talk about Space Bandy like 1,000 times.
So this
'cause-
Space Dandy thing that I don't think anyone's watched or anyone knows of. So I watched it on this little thing called Toonami. At least I wish I did, but I'm not an American. But
I did, and I'm not American.
You were born in America.
Miracle.
But yeah, I have been watching Space Dandy, at least the first 2 episodes in dub. Now, I think we've already explained what Space Dandy is, and if you can't remember, go back to the PodTaku episode that's labeled "It's Dandy Time."
It's Dandy time.
It's
Yes.
It is the newest Shinichiro Watanabe anime, and he is known for his works as Samurai Champloo, Adolescents Upon an Incline, also known as Kids on the Slope, and his Samurai Champloo. This is his newest one, and
it's airing on Toonami, dubbed, and is simulcasting dubbed and subbed on whatever website you choose to watch it on.
yeah, January 4th it actually aired on Toonami in English, and then January 5th it aired in Japan in Japanese.
Yes. Now I don't know if we're gonna keep Tristan's little
No, it
intro.
is. Last night, the 18th, was... It shows how dated this video
I
was.
mean, so I wasn't disagreeing with you there. I was just
No, I thought you were wondering if we're going to keep doing the English first. And it was confirmed that the English episode will air first for the remainder of the entire series.
Right. I mean, I personally am enjoying the English dub a lot.
I love it.
I'm enjoying the fact that I can watch a dub simulcasted, to be fair. That's like such an alien
that is
concept to
kind
me.
of amazing.
Yeah.
That is such a cool choice. Is what that
This
is.
thing of I'm watching it dubbed and I can't possibly get spoiled on the internet. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Waiting for the dub. That will happen.
it's
And then
like
you
if
have a
went-
choice, because if you watch the dub and realize or think, it's not that great, you only have to wait a day, and then the sub's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's such a cool concept. And I hope this thing catches on, because the thing is, I miss watching dubbed anime first time. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that you miss. I think dubbed anime allows for you to take in a lot more of the anime itself, because you're not glued to the lower third for a couple fractions of a second per frame.
and it means I can do
Yeah.
stupid shit like eat at the same time as watching it.
Oh,
Because
that's the
yeah.
classic.
Yes, that's true.
that's
The
one of the
classic
thing I miss
Eating
most.
soup. Because if you drink soup,
You have to watch
the
what
bowl
you-
will cover your face, so you kind of turn a little bit, so you get your peripheral vision to look at the TV, and then you pour hot soup all over you.
Yeah.
And then you're busy
that's how
cleaning
you
up the
work.
hot soup that you miss
Like-
even more.
If you're trying to be a weeaboo and eating ramen while watching anime, you can't do it.
Oh no, I'm Asian, so I eat
I'd like
ramen
to
all
point
the time.
out, I do have my Kona headband on.
Yeah. And the thing is,
the Hidden Leaf Village.
I think one of the biggest things
I
that
just have
made
this image of some guy with the Hidden Leaf Village headband while eating ramen, while watching Naruto subbed, just pivots sideways to read it while he's watching it.
no, I think one of the biggest things that made marathoning anime so easy before was the fact that I could eat at the same time. Because you know the points
Sustenance.
where you're just like,
Yes.
I have to take eating breaks.
You want to
Yeah.
be a bum.
But you don't want to take those eating breaks when you're watching like anime
Exactly.
because
Yeah.
you just want to keep going. But when you're watching subtitles, you're just like, fuck.
You know
And
what
then it's
I
Then
just
you're
like-
limited by the things that you can eat while reading subtitles.
Exactly.
And
This is
that
my
is
thing.
not a lot of
Because
things.
if you want to watch something,
It's
if
basically
you want,
chips and pretzels. Like that's about.
yeah, if you want to watch
Hardcore.
something heavy, and it's just like, oh fuck, I can't get into the zone because when they're talking like thousands of lines of exposition or
you're
something
going,
like that.
nah, nah, nah,
Here's,
nah.
and you're
here's
just
my
like-
thing.
Okay, go for it.
If you ever want to watch the Bakemonogatari series, don't plan on eating. If you want to go on a diet and not eat for about, I don't know, a week, if it would take you, if you straight out watched everything, you would probably lose a lot of weight because you cannot.
Monogatari. If you
Yes.
if you try marathoning that, you're gonna have a bad time. I mean, it's
That's
like you can't miss a single piece of dialogue in that. Your
No.
face is constantly glued to the screen.
Yeah.
Like even eating chips or something, you would miss something in that dialogue. So yeah, that would be a really bad anime to eat at the same time while
One
watching.
of the best headaches I've ever got.
one of the best.
Watching my Bakemonogatari.
But
No,
back-
but I think as far as Space Dandy goes, guys, what did you guys think of it just from the first episode for us? Your first impressions is what I mean.
Well, like I said earlier, and I don't know if we're going to keep that in the audio or not, Space Dandy is basically Cowboy Bebop, except the writers are high.
Well,
It's
I would
a
say
fair
that.
assessment.
I don't know. I think I agree with you in that it's so fucking Cowboy Bebop.
But at the same time, it's like nowhere, it doesn't have like any semblance of the seriousness that Bebop had. It's like
No, no.
really zany, makes no sense, everything explodes or his boobs.
It's panty and stocking meets
No,
Cowboy
do
Bebop.
you know what this is? This
Yeah.
is what happens if someone only saw the mushroom episode of Cowboy Bebop and was
Yeah.
like, "This is the best thing ever. We should make an entire series just like this."
That's
one
what I was
episode."
thinking, yeah.
Yeah, that's I mean, Gene, since you've never seen Cowboy Bebop before, how
Right.
did you find Space Dandy?
Well, I only watched the first episode, and
Yeah.
I did watch it subbed. I don't know why. I mean,
Okay,
I
no,
should
that's
take
fine.
the opportunity.
That's fine.
I know, but I feel like I
We
feel
don't
like I
discriminate
should
that
take-
kind of stuff.
It's
I know,
true.
but I feel like I should take the opportunity since it's there. It's like this is a revolution. They are simulcasting dub with sub. I should be watching it sub.
It's really rare.
Yeah.
I think that
like
it's
I want
one of
to
the coolest things.
experience. I want to experience this because it's airing now, so I should be watching it subbed. Because once it's
Subbed.
done airing, there's gonna have the choice of watching it either way, and it would
But
just
you-
be like any other anime.
But you had the choice of watching it either way, so why do
I
you want
know.
to watch it subbed now?
Exactly.
Why not watching
I
it
don't
dubbed
want
now?
to. No, I'm probably gonna watch it again dubbed the first episode, and then I'm just gonna carry out with the dub. But watching
No,
it,
but my question is, why did you start with the sub? I'm getting confused.
I don't know.
Because you just talked
Just
about how like
convenience
this is a
sake.
big revolutionary thing, and yeah, that's because the dub is out first. Yet
well,
you're
because I
watching
don't
it
watch
subbed.
TV, so I don't watch TV at all. So I watch everything from the internet.
So
So
not only is the fact that you're sitting here with people that don't have the option of watching it on Toonami, you do, and you're
Oh.
electing not to.
yeah, I just don't watch TV at all, though. Like that's just
I
me.
don't watch TV either, but I would fucking watch Toonami. So I did because I was at MagFest at the time. So
Well, oh, is that how you watched it, Tristan? You watched the first episode when it aired on Toonami?
yes, I did.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
did.
awesome.
Prof was there even.
Yeah, Prof was there.
Yeah, we all saw
Made a
that
video
video.
on-
We all saw that
video.
video.
They did a standing ovation for Space Dandy.
Well, they were
Basically.
sitting.
And
Yeah,
it was
they
out less
did
than
a
half an
city
hour
release.
after the episode aired because we were like, I think we were drinking or something at the time, and we were like, fuck it, I got my laptop. I got like 5 seconds in Vegas, let's do this. And then we did it.
Oh no, I remember that because I remember watching. I remember what I was doing. I was in Skype with Holden and Jimmy at the time,
Yes.
and they were watching it. When they were watching it live, I was like, "You fucking bastards! I fucking hate you. Why am I not American?" And then your video came out, Tristan, and then we saw the tweet "Desu Des for life," and we were just like, "Tristan's such a bitch. I fucking hate him."
yeah,
Because then we realized that you saw it
Traitor.
live too.
fucking whore.
Hey, if one of you guys made it to MagFest, you'd be there with us.
That's
yeah,
pretty great.
but your
It was
tweet
pretty
probably
great.
would have still been Dusty Dust for Life.
No, it was great, though.
What I thought
I think that an interesting thing about the show itself was there is slight differences between the sub and the dub as far as
translation and
writing,
so forth?
I guess. Yeah, translation and so forth. For instance, there was no like Buzz Lightyear joke in the sub version, but I think what's really interesting is that of course they had to cut the opening and ending or considerably resize them for American broadcast because we just have to cut like 2 minutes, I think, per thing, and we usually just cut the ED and the OP to compensate, so we don't have to cut actual content.
Makes sense.
That said, though, I think from an animation standpoint, Bones did a really good job with the first episode.
My God.
I think it looked fantastic.
Before, where we were just like, we weren't sure if Bones were back up there. But after watching
this is gonna
we
be
were
Star Driver again.
really impressed with the animation, especially, the last 5 or so minutes of the first episode, where it just went so sort of crazy and fluid. Bones,
Here's my
classic
thing
Bones.
Here's my thing with it is, I was actually disappointed overall with the animation.
Okay.
Because I will agree with you,
Really?
those last couple of minutes was classic Bones.
Yeah.
And that's perfectly fine. But what annoyed me was that the classic Bones wasn't for the entire episode. It was only for the big important bits. The rest of it was kind of... It reminded me of... Hey, well,
Fancy
Gene just
and
finished
stocking?
Welcome to the NHK. You remember those episodes in the Welcome to the NHK where there was like no keyframes and everything was
Yes.
just kind of
Yes.
there?
When Gonzo just went in there,
Gonzo just
and
quit.
shot
Said,
all their
"Fuck it."
animators.
That's what like some parts of Space Dandy reminded me of. Like when Bones want to do good, they do it. But I was wondering
Right.
why they didn't do it the entire episode.
They're saving face, so what they're doing is they're trying to hide those keyframes with like jokes or something else to catch your attention.
I can't read circle.
Yeah, which also
Yeah.
leads me to say, like, after watching Space Dandy, I enjoyed it overall, but I was thinking, like, in the middle of the episode, it just screams for, like, the teenager demographic, I feel like. I
do agree.
Yeah,
I
it's
do
like,
agree.
it's begging for, like, 13 and 14-year-old boys and girls to
It's
watch the show.
alternative is how I describe it.
I do. It's weird because I feel like they're getting the demographics a bit mixed up because, like, they have a fucking cafe called Boobies.
Yep.
Yeah.
And unless you're a 13 to 15-year-old boy, you won't find that funny anymore. You know what I mean?
Right.
No.
You'll find that. Those kids. It's boobs.
was-
So
I
you have
remember-
like a slight chuckle, not a laugh out loud, not an LOL.
Yeah.
It's like a slight smirk. You'll just be like,
Yeah.
Let's eat boobies. Teenagers would like that
Guys,
joke.
let's go to Boobies. Boobies. It said Boobies.
Let's go see
Said
boobies at
boobies.
boobies.
I take
Hey, if
pictures
you-
of all the waitresses at Hooters. It was funny, guys.
Hey guys, if you type in 531-8008 and then on a calculator and flip it down, upside down,
It says
boobies.
Oh, it's
Actually,
so
isn't
good.
it boobless?
well,
You can also do boobless. Yes.
Yeah, okay,
you can-
that's
you
what
can
we
also
did
do
in
boob-
school.
No, it's a restaurant, is what it is.
Yeah.
That's what we
First
did in
off-
school. We did boobless.
It's a restaurant. I thought that was a great
Oh
pun.
man, that's the difference across the pond.
yeah, that's like a cultural difference, you know.
Yeah.
It's
We go
a cultural
Boobies, we go Boobies.
TI-83 difference.
You go for boobies, we go for boobless.
Gotta love them titties. But
But at least we know where the boobs exist on this planet.
hmm
But after watching the second episode, I can say that I am really enjoying it. I do want it to be a bit more mature because I love Cowboy Bebop. But
I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen. But I did enjoy. It does give the same vibe as Cowboy Bebop, like in the second episode. Because what happened? It was kind of like this self-contained story, and then when it ended, right?
hmm
I got this, like, you know what I mean, Holden and Tristan, where you kind of get this.
See you
like,
later,
really-
Space Cowboy.
Yeah, this see you later, Space Cowboy kind of feeling. Like,
Yeah.
if the Real Folks Blue played after the end of the episode, I would be like, oh
Yeah,
man.
I think
that
it would have
totally-
worked.
Yeah, because it just totally fit. Because the thing about the first episode, the ending of the first episode, it ended with
With a
spoiler
supernova?
alert, the death of Dandy.
Everybody died.
Yeah, everybody dies. And they never explained that away, by the way. I don't know what happened. But with the second episode, what happened was they had this mini story, it ended, and it was just like, oh, their adventure continues or whatever.
Right.
And I really liked that feeling, because I haven't felt that in a long time since watching Bebop.
Because it's not serious.
'Cause
you
it's not
know?
serious, yeah.
I think what's interesting is that I haven't seen many episodic anime just as a whole, as
Yeah.
like in my time. I just feel like there's not many, so this automatically I associate it with the more episodic anime, which for the most part are usually like the 3 space westerns, Outlaw Star, Trigun, and Cowboy Bebop. It's interesting because I understand the influence, but I feel like the demographic is a lot younger, which is fine, because I think as long as I want it to do well, regardless of how I personally feel about it.
Right. Mm-hmm. You know what? I think it is going to do good.
It's doing so much for anime in North America that you just want it to succeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? It's like going to do good regardless of how we personally feel about it, because first of all, it's aiming at the correct demographic right now. It's airing on Toonami, and also people like us that are older. Like, Garnt, wouldn't you say you're getting... It's resonating with you because of, like, Cowboy Bebop? Like, all of you.
I would say it's more of a nostalgia effect.
Exactly,
for me, because Cowboy Bebop was such a big anime for me.
So it's perfect because it's hitting the demographic for new viewers to come into and enjoy anime. And then for us, it's giving us a nostalgia run. It's perfect. They have it set regardless of how it ends now. You know that you're not going to watch a serious series. You know that you're watching it for fun. You know that they got like the right comedy to go with the quirky animation that it has, and it's just got the formula set for the story and the plot. Like, it's gonna make you laugh. You're not gonna take it seriously. It's gonna be episodic. They have it set.
If you take that idea of popularity and apply it to something like Attack on Titan, why is that?
Why is that different?
The circular logic is totally different because it's
Attack on Titan
not.
Is overhyped.
It does not target the younger demographic at all. But its popularity, I would say, is more so than Space Dandy currently.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Attack on Titan is probably the most popular anime to come out in the past few years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, in the past decade, I'd say.
Although I know some people that would argue a lot that says that SAO was higher, but I don't.
No, SAO was not higher.
Oh no, we all agree on this right now. Okay,
no. Yeah, SAO was not higher than Attack on Titan.
But before Attack on Titan, SAO was literally the biggest thing we'd seen in a while.
Yeah, but then Attack on Titan just obliterated that. You know what I mean? I agree that SAO was the biggest thing we'd seen in a while, and then Attack on Titan came along, and it just fucking obliterated everything.
But then here's the other thing, is that now that SAO Season 2 has been announced...
It could.
Which I want to see, totally.
I mean, I think the biggest thing about Attack on Titan, more than just it being, like, a quote-unquote good show, right? I think we're kind of switching into this transition where we're going away from... We're like a new wave of anime fans are coming in that only know the simulcasting Crunchyroll Funimation websites. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's this Netflix effect where you're getting new people into anime just because it's easily accessible now.
I agree. I think that it is definitely more accessible than it ever has been. And I think
if you think about Madoka Magica,
exploited that fact a lot.
Yeah, if you think about Madoka Magica, that was kind of just like, was that simulcast? That was simulcast, wasn't it?
I think it was, yeah. I think everything since then was simulcast, yeah.
The thing about that was like one of the very first big simulcasts. And
it was like,
it was just like, oh my god, Madoka Magica's being simulcast. What is going on? You know what I mean? That was kind of when it was started. Mm-hmm. And that was like, what, 4 years ago? I can't remember the exact date. But
2011, 2014 now.
I think.
Yeah, so it's taken 3 years for like simulcasting to be known for people outside of just the anime community. Because what's happened? Things like you can go, oh, this great thing called Attack on Titan. Go watch it on this website called Crunchyroll. It's not like you have to go like, so torrents. Okay, so what you have to do is you download a. Torrent.
I'm not going to tell you how to do this, but you got to get this torrent.
It's the thing. You try to explain to non-anime fans.
It's called an MKV. You have to take it and get VLC.
It's so you download this thing called VLC.
And if there's anything that says 10-bit on it, hope that your computer is good, otherwise you're kind of fucked, bro.
Yeah.
Open Handbrake and remux it.
What's Handbrake? Well, it's just fuck it.
It's funny because we all know the ins and outs of it, but I can see why it'd be discouraging for a newcomer.
Yeah, it's just like imagine going up to a newcomer and just having to explain that, and it's like,
in addition,
Yeah.
In addition, this is also a legal alternative to that as well.
Yeah.
Which presents a lot of interesting prospects.
Simulcasting is perfectly legal. It's awesome, and I am so glad that it's actually doing so well.
But let's just say, I don't think 90% of people care that it's a legal platform. I think they care that...
No, they don't. I'm just saying it's a benefit.
Yeah, it's a benefit. But the thing about it is it provides ease of access to people outside of just the anime community, which is what I think anime has been missing. Because we've been such an in community. You're either in or you're out. You're like, you either know all this shit or you're just like...
Or you don't know fuck all.
Yeah, fuck all.
As I think a good analogy for that is that the learning curve has an overhang. Like, it's a huge curve.
You're one of the casuals, the filthy casuals.
We don't let those kinds of people in this community.
Yeah.
Those kinds of people.
You have to put the work in. If you put the work in, brother. If not, outcast. Shun the non-believer. Shun.
Which is why I also think that Attack on Titan won't be the last. I mean, it won't take a long time to get another anime as big as Attack on Titan, if you know what I mean.
I don't think it will. I think we just need another high-profile show is what we need.
Which could very much be SAO2.
It could be, because it has guns. That's the thing. I think a big selling point is that it's Gun Gale Online.
You know what I mean? It's a first-person shooter, which is fucking massive in the West.
Well,
it's a multiplayer FPS. I mean, come on.
When I look at SAO and Attack on Titan, the reason I don't think SAO is as big as Attack on Titan is because the writing was shit. And you have the part of the community that cares about that crap basically bashing it. The whole thing with SAO was like two sides of our community battling. The people that hated it and the people that loved it.
Right.
When you look at Attack on Titan, it was a lot more balanced towards people loving it because the writing was good. So there was less to complain about.
Attack on Titan, as many flaws as it has, was a good show. No, it was something that was easily accessible. Didn't go downhill. You know what I mean? There wasn't any really obvious dark spots in it, and I think it was just one of those shows where people could get into it and watch it till the end.
Yeah, it was also self-contained. You didn't need like anything other than the show to explain shit to you, which was great because it was the setting itself was just its own little closed space.
Yeah. I had this strategic approach to it.
Which is
why, even in SAO, you needed to have some sort of outside basis of MMOs to actually understand some of the things that was going on. Even though really all SAO was just to say that it was an MMO is kind of giving it a bit too much credit. It was more so just an alternate fantasy universe.
Right. Well,
it was more so like the characters were transported to a fantasy universe rather than trapped in a game because there were not many game aspects there.
Yeah, it wasn't more like .hacksign was more aware of the MMO aspects because people would walk away from the keyboard and they just stop moving.
I could say one thing. Some people probably were looking forward to SAO because they wanted to feel the MMO experience since they have background information on MMOs from playing it.
Quite possible.
And then there was me who wanted to get the idea of MMOs through watching SAO. I wanted to kind of.
It's totally like that.
If you want to get the ideas of MMOs from an anime, go watch Log Horizon.
Okay.
That's a much better thing.
I would be interested.
That's a frosty recommendation.
That is indeed a frosty recommendation.
I would be interested to see how many people just name themselves Kirito while in MMOs when SAO was just airing.
Dude,
no,
you want to know?
I would
like a lot of people. I actually looked it up. A lot of people.
How many people would just change their avatar to all black with dual swords?
What I meant to say, what I mean to say is I was kind of hyped for SAO because I thought that I was going to get an idea of MMOs. I know that I
totally
did
hyped for SAO.
Get the idea.
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. I was so hyped for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but that is one reason why I was hyped for it.
You know, I am kind of looking forward to SAO Season 2 because
totally am.
Unlike MMOs, I have a fair bit of experience with first-person shooters, so I would be actually interested to see how the Japanese, because the thing about first-person shooters in Japan is that they're less prevalent than they are in the West. Or
oh my god, there's too many in the West. It drives me fucking crazy.
It's fucking mainstream in the West, but in Japan, it's less so. So I'm very interested to see how basically the Japanese deal with first-person shooters. And
it would be interesting.
It might end up being something similar to Btoom.
Yeah, that's what I was
sort of a take on that, except instead of guns, they use grenades because it's Japan and they do weird shit.
Right.
But that was
like
an
to
interesting
see things
take
explode.
On it. But then it was less of a take on any gaming genre per se, and more of just another survival game. story that we've seen quite a few times over the last few years.
Yeah, but it did sort of have that first-person approach, at least in the first
at
5
least
minutes.
at the start. That seemed to be like the beginning of the premise, but it didn't
Right.
go anywhere from that. It
was
quickly moved
pretty good
out
though.
of that.
Like that was
Yeah,
fun.
it was
fact
good.
about Btoom is that I've been watching it recently with the English dub, and I've been liking it.
Oh,
so
English dub. How is
Yeah.
Who
that?
dubbed it?
pretty good. See, the thing is, I always hold a pretty high opinion of English dubs because I just like
Who
them.
dubbed it, Holden?
I'm not a critic of voice, I guess, necessarily.
Holden.
So I'd be the last person you should probably ask
Hold
about
on.
voice acting and the quality
Hold
of it.
Holden!
What?
Who dubbed it?
Yeah, it's the dub, man.
Who
pretty
dubbed
good.
it? Who?
Dude, it's fucking Sentai. I don't care.
Okay, there we go.
I really don't know who dubbed it. I really just don't care.
The encyclopedia does not know.
No, I don't care. It's Sentai Filmworks, by the way. I do know who dubbed it,
doesn't
but I just don't care. I don't care who dubs anything, to be honest.
Yeah, what he's
I think
saying
all
is he
dubs
doesn't
in my
care.
mind are almost equal.
As long as there are voices coming out of the mouth and
Yeah.
they're in the English language, he's just like, yeah,
I'm
this is
just like-
fucking good.
Yeah, this is
And
pretty
you're
good.
saying this to someone, well, you're saying it to Tristan, who does care about the quality.
yeah.
Of dubs, yes.
Yeah.
Tristan's just like,
Tristan has
Who the fuck's up?
face-palmed.
Wait, is it a Stephen Foster dub?
I don't fucking know. I don't care about voice actors.
Fine, I'll look it up. Give me a second.
Those are people that I hire. I don't need them.
It's so funny because this is just Holden. This is proving what Holden is trying to say.
Yeah.
He's saying
It's-
he doesn't care.
Voice actors, man. They're people.
Okay, so yeah, it was a Stephen Foster dub.
Is that good or okay? That's
it's
eh.
bad. I know the history of Stephen Foster. I will say, I enjoyed the dub of High School of the
man.
Dead. Because
Thing
Yeah,
is,
I was
he
about to say, that's what
can do good, but when I'm looking at just plain statistics, chances are I'm not going to enjoy it, based on
Because-
past experience.
yeah, the
Based
thing about
on the
Stephen-
statistics.
Based on my own statistics in
the numbers.
According to my
on-
calculations, you have no calculations.
My line, god damn it.
No,
Based
it
on
isn't.
my calculations, you're all faggots. So let's.
I'll give anybody a thumbs up.
Not that that is a bad thing. We're not using that as a derogatory term towards any groups or
I don't think I've
persons.
ever switched to a subbed version of an anime when starting the dub.
Yeah.
I do say that. I don't think I've ever switched. I'm always committed to one set cast, I guess, from the get-go. Get-go state. Because that was the first one where I watched it English dubbed. I just continued it all the way. Yeah, have you guys ever just switched to subbed or vice versa? Because you
I
guys
have.
didn't feel it. Because I haven't, so I'm interested.
I have had to do that for
So, wait.
Evangelion 3.0, where I was so, like, I grew up with just the dubcast. And for the first time, I watched Evangelion in subbed, as you guys know. And it was a bit, at first it was a bit jarring for me because it was just a bit jarring hearing different voices come out of these characters that I was so used to.
Yeah, you've done that for like a decade.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, it came out in 95, so...
But it takes about like 10 to 15 minutes for me to get used to, and it goes for me thinking, what does Shinji actually sound like a girl? This is. I know. He sounds like. I know. Like fucking. He's supposed to sound like a pussy, but in the sub, he literally sounds like a girl.
He
And then
is a pussy.
After I get past that point,
Mhm.
I'm okay with it. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
this. It's just this big jarring wall that hits you at first, and it's just like,
Well, normally that wall stops a lot of people because it's kind of the thing of where when you get used to a certain voices coming out of certain people, regardless of language, like this works too if you watch it in Japanese first. A lot of
course,
people,
I
like
agree.
I say, it
myself
normally works
included,
the
don't
other
like
way
switching to the
round.
dub after that.
yeah.
But for
I
me,
don't like
I don't
change.
Think, I don't think there's been a time where I've really enjoyed a show in dub and then I have switched to sub, but I do have examples of the reverse, like Spice and Wolf. I watched Spice and Wolf first in sub when it came out, and then when the dub came out, I'll watch the dub. Yeah, it's awesome. I'll sit and watch that one.
I know
Yeah.
that I've done it. I just don't remember what I did it for.
It's funny just because it comes back to, Space Dandy and the idea of if we had that option from the get-go, I think that'd be really interesting.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
that there's a lot of things that would fall on that because I think I'm watching the dub of Btoom and I can't imagine it not being this way. Like, I really can't because it feels
Honestly,
a lot more like High School of the Dead.
Yeah,
it's just
but
a bunch
Tomb
of
is one of
kids.
those shows I watched where I was thinking I would really, really enjoy this dubbed. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like I enjoyed it subbed anyway, but I would enjoy it even more dubbed. Which is
I'd
why
enjoy it if it didn't end.
Yeah, which is why like something
me
like
too.
Jormundgand, which I know I'm gonna fucking love the
I
shit out of.
already have that shit pre-ordered. It's coming to me.
And
I've only seen season 1. I've specifically not watched season 2 because I know that it was going to be dubbed because Funimation picked it up. So I was like, no, I'm going to wait. They're both going to come out. And they come out on the same day, both seasons, which is awesome.
Exactly.
I don't have to wait. And then I'm going to watch season 1, rewatch it dubbed. And then I'm used to the voices. So then I can watch season 2 and feel that it is amazing.
Perfect
balls, even
order.
if it sucks.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the dub to watch Jormungand, even though I know I'm gonna love it. It's one of these things where, I'm just like I'm gonna wait.
Yeah.
You know? This is the Black Lagoon period again. Where it's like
It is.
yeah, where I'm just like
There's so many parallels between Black Lagoon and that show.
Everybody
so
has to.
many.
I remember, didn't you wait for like years for Roberta's Blood Trail card?
Yep.
I waited for years, not even knowing if it was ever gonna be dubbed or licensed, or not just that, ever knowing that if it was licensed, that it would have the same dub cast as it did before. I remember when they announced the dub cast, I freaked the fuck out. It was this thing where I've waited.
I think we were in
3
call when that
years
happened.
in
When we were in
uncertain-
call when that happened.
Yeah, well, I think we were in call.
No, actually,
where-
I think we were.
Yeah.
I just literally jumped out of my seat and shouted out. Whereas, like 3 years of waiting in uncertainty for this moment, and I still
You got
haven't
it.
watched it just for the fact that I don't want to watch it because it's this thing where me and Holden were talking about Legends
need
of
to
the
watch
Galactic
it.
Heroes.
Yeah, we were talking about Legends of the Galactic Heroes and
Where
how
we were just like, we don't want to watch it because once we watch it, we can never watch it again.
you can't unsee it. Oh, well, text message.
It's this
It's
thing
not
where
like they're never.
there's-
Yeah, it's not like they're gonna dub that one though. It's a different.
No.
story.
No,
It's-
but it's not even that. It's just a show that you know that from the outside looking in, you will enjoy from the get go.
Yeah,
It's
Oh,
seeing
so
a
it's
show.
like me and Bakemonogatari, which I haven't watched yet.
yeah.
It's that whole thing of
Oh, and it's
you
like
know
Garnt with the second season of Ghost in the Shell.
you
Yeah,
know you're
it's-
going to like it, so you purposely don't.
Yeah.
For instance, with me, it's Legends of the Galactic Heroes because that's what we were talking
You're
about.
saving it for a special occasion when you're really down in the dumps and you feel like anime's ruined.
yeah.
It's this
'Cause-
moment of after watching it, you'll have the void, and you don't know if you'll ever have it again after
And you
watch the
You
show.
know that you will
Yeah.
have the void.
Because, for instance, I'm really excited to watch it because Legends of the Galactic Hero was the inspiration for one of my favorite animes of all time, which is Code Geass, and so much rides on it that I know I'm not ready to watch it yet. I know that it is not the point in my life where I want to watch it yet. For instance, some people, I know I haven't watched Brotherhood yet because I watched the original one. And I'm just not ready.
I haven't
Brotherhood.
watched either yet.
Yeah, me either.
For the exact same reason.
Brotherhood's sitting on my shelf. I'm just waiting. Well, I'm waiting for it for a number of reasons. One, I'm waiting to actually see it because I don't know if I want to watch it yet. And B, it's a bit of an investment because it's 70 some odd episodes. And if I'm
It's
going to watch it,
64.
I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
64 episodes. It's pretty long.
It was in the 70s.
No, it's 64.
Is it 64?
We've had this talk before.
Oh, yeah, we did. And I even went up and checked it in mid-call. Yeah, okay.
It's 64.
That
That said, you know what? Speaking
going-
of waiting for dubs, man, Hellsing Ultimate 9 and 10.
Oh man, when is that coming out?
When?
That's
Like-
the only thing that's stopping me from watching Hellsing Ultimate.
That is
'Cause 9 and
literally
10
the
haven't
only
come
thing
out.
stopping me from watching Ultimate.
I'm totally caught up as far as the dub goes with Hellsing Ultimate because I bought them all and I was like, fuck it. I'm just fuck it. I'm watching it. And I did. And that was like 2 years ago. So now it's been long enough where when 9 and 10 finally do come out dubbed, which they freaking better.
That is one thing about waiting for dubs that really stinks because, well, not that it would stink for you guys because you don't mind rewatching stuff, but I feel like I would have to rewatch everything to then continue on with the series.
Well, part of it's not
Gene,
that bad.
since
Like,
you're,
even to
since-
rewatch Hellsing is not that bad. To rewatch
Yeah.
Hellsing Ultimate, what's been out, won't take me that long.
No,
I
I
could
know.
probably watch all
Gene,
of Hellsing
I
Ultimate
think-
when 9 and 10 comes out in a day.
Gene, I think you've seen less dubs than the three of us because you're a quote-unquote new age anime fan that only got into it through fucking Clannad shit or something like that. So,
Fuck you, Garnt.
Oh, that's one show that I went from dub to sub. Was Clannad.
well, I don't fucking blame you because
Yeah, no, I don't blame you either.
I went to After Story with subs.
I'll sing Clannad's praises a lot, but I will not
oh
defend
no,
that dub.
no! It's
The
just
dub
because
wasn't available.
it's just because After Story wasn't dubbed yet, and I
Yeah,
wanted
that's
to
what I
watch
thought.
it, so I couldn't.
That was my
wait.
story with Code Geass R2.
Yeah.
I watched it, and then I watched R2 subbed because it just wasn't out yet.
Right.
I needed it.
I've only done that.
Oh,
with
wait.
a
No,
couple
I have a
shows.
question now. So, wait. You watched season 1 of Code Geass dubbed and season
Yes.
2 subbed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which one did you
Oh.
prefer?
Oh, totally the dub. I love it.
Interesting.
I love the dub. I like it because it's in English and I can take in everything, and it just feels much more theatric to me.
With
I
Johnny and
will
Bosch.
I will say that it is Jun, I believe, was the voice actor for Lelouch in the Japanese version.
Yeah, it was.
And I think he's just unbelievable. I think he's one of the best. I think it's really 50-50. You know, it's which one you prefer. I think that people will lean towards the sub potentially, but given what the show is, which is about, you know, the conquest of the East from the West, I liked the dub a lot because it really, being English and everything, it really showed just the conquest. Also,
I
Jeremiah.
You know what I kind of wish would actually happen at some point? I doubt they ever will because there's no reason for them to do it. I wish there would have been an option in some anime to choose on a character-specific basis whether you want to watch from the dub or the sub.
That'd be interesting.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
No, that'd be
What do
really
you mean?
It's
interesting.
like saying you're watching like Code Geass. Everybody speaks English except Lelouch, who's speaking with the Japanese voice.
Wouldn't that be really jarring? Because like
It'd
be interesting.
It'll be quite fun.
It's
I
easy
like
to do, though. It would be easy to do.
would
All
be
you gotta do
easy,
is just
but
segment the clips.
But it'll be like, oh, Lelouch is speaking Japanese to everyone, and everyone's replying to him in English. Why the fuck can I understand him? It's just
I don't know, Garant. It was within the realm of possibility.
It's just logic.
It's just hashtag anime logic. But yeah, that would be really interesting. But you know, because like we could possibly edit something like that anyway.
Yeah, you could edit it.
Yeah.
But
You could get rid of
that's
Steve Blum and all of
the whole
Cowboy
point
Bebop
of
and
the
get
whole
the
point of
Japanese
this
voice
is for
actor.
convenience. And why the hell would you get rid of Steve Blum and Cowboy Bebop?
Because I want him to be
Because-
speaking Japanese to everyone.
No, because we want to replace him with Greg Harris. We
That's
agreed on
also
this
true.
choice.
That I'll agree with, but
That's not that hard. We're gonna do that sometime.
But
eventually.
one thing that I wanted to bring up in Space Dandy, right? Watching episode 2, something I noticed in episode 2 was that they made reference to something that I haven't seen a lot of animes make reference to. I might be wrong, okay?
Sure.
But so one of what happens in the second episode of Space Dandy is Meow basically he basically tweets about all the places they're going to, right?
Yeah.
And that gives their position away to whatever army is trying to catch them.
That fucking gorilla army or some shit.
Yeah, that fucking gorilla army. But there's this thing where I just noticed, like, wow, they made reference to a form of social media in anime. Like, it became part of the plot. And I was like, I can't think of any other time that they've actually made reference to social media. You know what I mean?
Summer Wars.
Yes, Summer Wars. Oh,
How did you forget that?
How
Gar?
did I forget that? Oh my god.
Yeah,
No,
that
but-
whole movie's just about social media.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that and Lain are like the biggest ones. And Lain not even like social media. That was more or less just the internet.
Well, Lain, as far as social media actually existed back in the 90s, yes.
Yeah.
Lain is definitely an example of that. But I'm trying to think of things like recently that used some sort of.
But the thing is,
social media.
I'm quite surprised because like I think a lot of interesting concepts can be done around the idea of social media in anime.
True, but the other thing is not just anime, but in live action shows and media, how often is social media actually brought up? It's usually just something that happens in the background. We don't really care. It's like mentioned in passing, but it's never focused on.
I mean, Social Network.
That's a documentary movie on the birth of Facebook.
My man, David.
But even something
I don't
like,
know.
I know,
The thing
Die
is-
Hard, Die Hard 4 or something like that, which is
Which one was Die Hard 4? Wait, was that the one? That was Live Free or Die Hard, right?
Yeah,
That was the one with the hackers and everything that broke into the Pentagon and was going to blow up the world because he used to work at the Pentagon, but then found this security flaw and they put a gun to his head when he pointed it out to them and they didn't fix it, and so he decided to go and blow up the world. Yeah, that one.
Maybe Code Geass because they used Big Globe, but that'd be it.
What? Wait, they used what?
They used Big Globe. It's a real site, search engine thing. And I remember they were it was like the Pizza Hut thing. They were just really adamant on product placement.
Actually, here's the thing.
Okay.
Why
And
is it,
Detard
though?
was using Big Globe.
Now that I think about it, a lot of the time that social media or just electronic media in general is brought up, at least in the anime spectrum, those anime usually get labeled under mindfucks. Lain, Paranoia Agent.
Perfect Blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Perfect Blue! I completely forgot because that was like social media at its like youngest age. where
At the
it's just, like,
lowest.
The idea of
Yeah, when it was
tabloids.
just message boards and
It's
emails.
like the Space Jam
Rumors.
website that's on right now.
Yeah.
you guys know about that, right?
I hope
Of
they
course.
never close that ever.
Yeah. Where you're like, oh.
It's not like
well,
it'll take much to host it. It's like nothing to it. I think the entire website's only like 50 kilobytes. Tiny ass site.
Yeah.
Put it on a flash drive.
I would actually like to see it was actually fun to see references to social media in an anime.
You know what? I have to say something about that though. You think it's cool now because Twitter is in, but like
Eventually,
5-7 years from now,
Yeah.
it's just going to be a marker of how aged the anime has become.
And who cares
that's
about
going
that,
to
though?
make me
No,
sad.
well, in argument to that, you can
Who
still
cares?
watch Lain and you can still watch Paranoia Agent, and it's still relevant because it's general enough. If someone
Yeah.
made
Right.
an anime about Twitter specifically, then
Yeah.
yeah, you would be right. But when they just keep it to social media in general, I don't
Right.
think
Yeah,
the aging
no.
problem will happen. Maybe like 50, 100 years. down
No,
the
social
line, yeah,
media
sure,
in general, I'm fine with. But for them to use specific sites like Twitter, it will just, like I said, be a marker.
Well, you
like-
can't use specifics. It's the reason why
Right.
Lain is still very relevant now, even though it's like.
But the social network is so good
20 years
because
old.
it is specific.
Yeah.
It tells the story of something.
Like,
Yeah, I would love to see like when you actually use specifics. I do enjoy that as well. Like just
I mean, I
actually
think
just any
one
references.
of the bigger examples, right?
Like
is specifics
any
is
references
Steins
to
Gate,
real
man.
life shit. Like
Steins
when
Gate, with the idea of
Steins
the
Gate, yeah, Steins Gate
accelerator.
when they're referencing CERN, right?
And they're
Didn't that
talking
make-
about the accelerator, and they're talking about John Titor. And those
Yeah.
are all real things.
Didn't that make it so much better?
No,
The
it
fact
totally
that-
did.
maybe conspiracy things, but yes, no, they're actual things that exist in the real world.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
well,
what
there's
was,
no
that was
reference
awesome.
to time with that. It's just reference to.
No,
You do not know the
Gene,
John Titor theory.
Do you know
at all,
who
do you?
John Titor is?
I know who he is.
There was a
Who is
real
he?
guy named John Titor who was from the future.
Quote, quote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big conspiracy thing that some people believe
But there is
exists, some people don't exist.
documentation, like lots of it, of this guy existing. He's a Marine from the future.
No, that's cool. Having the idea of something really existing in an anime, but I was just saying it doesn't mess with time. It doesn't say, oh well, this is an aged anime because they're talking about John Titor.
Yeah, it is, though, because the idea of the particle accelerator that was back at CERN, right?
But then, actually,
Nobody
wouldn't
talks
that-
about that anymore.
Wouldn't it be looking at Steins Gate and saying that, oh, it's an old anime because they're talking about CERN and everything? But that's the stuff for the time. Wouldn't it be not much different to say that Bakemono's an old anime because it's dealing with the
Exactly, that's what I'm
1920s?
saying.
Yeah.
Making something a part of its time, I would actually say is encouraged. I would say it's a good thing to do. For instance, in Fate Zero, it takes place in 1996. They have cell phones that have antlers. Like,
Yeah.
these cell phones, they have a flip-down Nokia, and it shows a piece of the time that was existing then. And for
I would
instance,
say-
the night,
No,
the night vision.
That's what I'm saying. It's cool to do that, but it's weird to use like
No,
Twitter
I'd say it's awesome.
and watching
It's
it
awesome.
now, but then going back to it being like, oh, it was cool back when Twitter was in.
I
but now
think
Twitter's
I think
not
your
in.
problem, Gene, is
I think yours is a
because-
personal problem.
No, yeah, it's because you are looking back on it and you think it's old because you actually were alive and
Okay.
existed in the
Gene.
time when Twitter was
Yes,
big.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That it was depressing.
Well, okay,
It's
Gene,
depressing to
'cause
think
let's-
about.
That's, like I
let's-
said, that's a personal
Let's go
problem.
back to stuff that has happened before. That might a timestamp for older anime / movies or whatever.
Pagers,
Sorry,
God, pages.
pagers.
pages. Oh man, that would be. But the big.
My
thing,
dad actually has an old brick phone. You know those giant things that
Oh, those
couldn't
old
even
ones.
fit in both your hands?
Wow.
Those are awesome.
The biggest
Still
thing I
works,
can
too.
think of. Okay,
Wow.
it's not an anime. It's not an anime, but the biggest thing I can think of that looks so dated now is The Matrix. Okay.
Oh my
Like-
God.
Oh my god.
Well,
If you rewatch-
actually, I would argue first Matrix doesn't actually look that half bad.
It does. No.
Some of the descriptions with hackers and so forth and that culture, that's
Maybe.
dated. But
Yeah, it's like, do you remember the scene in Matrix when Neo first gets his cell phone, and it's one of those phones that kind of just you press a button.
the snap
and-
phone, yeah.
the snap phone. I
Those
remember
actually-
seeing that, and I was like, "This is the coolest shit ever!" You press a button, it just snaps out. And now looking at it, it's just like one of those old shitty Nokia brick phones.
Yeah, exactly. You're just going through the same experience with anime. You're like, oh, it's so cool that it referenced to Twitter.
No, but I think that's the thing.
No, but
I
that's
think-
the charm of it. Because time is not permanent, Gene. We must realize that we will get old and we will die and people will look at what we've made. That's the beauty of it. It's a
Or not,
testament, is what
look
it
at
is.
we
I
made,
think
depending on
what the difference between how to make it not dated is just because the whole thing about the Matrix is that it was cool. It was, up to date. It was hip
still
at
is
the time.
cool.
It wasn't
still
just
cool.
up to date. It was higher than that. It was
higher.
like futuristic
Yeah.
for its time.
But Gene, say
Awesome
something
movie.
like when you're watching Fight Club, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And there was a
Fight
scene
Club is
when,
dated. They
not
blew
allowed
up
to
a
talk
Mac
about Fight
shop
Club.
with the
No, I
Rainbow
was about to
Mac
say,
logo.
When like when they blew up the Mac shop, Gene, were you watching Fight Club and thinking they're blowing up Mac computers? Like this
No.
is so fucking dated. You know what I mean?
No, I'm just like, oh, they're blowing shit up. That's all I was thinking about.
It's all just small details. For instance, there's so many things. Like, even the companies that were around then were slightly different.
Yeah.
And that's one of the cool things about it, is that you do have a point of reference of when stuff was made. Because stuff isn't permanent. We must realize that there is no thing that can ever be created that will be, like, outstanding to the point where it's like, we've never achieved, this form of technology that everyone will always look at this and say, that's either the most ridiculously old thing. For instance, like the 50s, guys. You remember the 50s? And they had all those amazing old car prototype designs, right? By Sid Mead and everyone. And like Tron, right? Tron.
Oh my god, the original
Holy
Tron
shit,
is so
Tron.
dated.
Oh my god, Tron!
Holy shit, Tron.
It's hilariously
Holy
fun to watch.
shit.
Mainly because there's a lot of things, even about the time, that didn't exist.
Yeah.
And it's just funny to watch.
I
but
think the
still,
big thing,
yeah.
it's just a sci-fi in general. Any sci-fi that's old, it's just fucking fun to watch. 'Cause you
Not
look
all
back-
sci-fi. Some sci-fi are really interesting to watch. Like, if you
2001
rewatch like
Space-
Blade Runner or Alien, the original Alien.
Oh, Blade Runner.
It's still
Remember
kind of
2001
works.
Space Odyssey as well.
Yeah, 2001
might
Space
be.
Odyssey even,
It
yeah.
wasn't really classic, but if you watch some other kind of sci-fi, you look back and you're just like, wow, this is how they thought the future would be. That's stupid. Why didn't
I'm
we
still
think like that?
waiting. I'm still waiting for the prediction in Back to the Future 2 to come true. Where's our hoverboard?
Oh, I think everyone is.
Oh! But
2015.
to bring that back, when did Evangelion? When did Evangelion start? 2014, guys. Do you remember this?
That is what that is.
Wait,
what-
Second
yeah.
Impact's 2014?
I think it takes
Yeah.
place in 2015.
Or was it
I'm not too
First
sure.
Impact?
No.
Yeah.
Second Impact happens in 2014. I think.
Yeah,
Second
that's what I
Impact.
thought.
Oh, but we
Yeah.
didn't have the First Impact.
First
No, we
Impact-
did. That was the comet that wiped out the dinosaurs.
Yeah, First Impact was the comet that wiped up the dinosaurs. So Second Impact will happen this year, guys.
Yeah,
Put it down
get
in your
ready.
calendars.
Oh, wow.
I know.
2012, get out of the way.
We have no fucking
2014
mechas.
now. Second Impact.
Where the fuck are the mechas?
We gotta wait another 14 years for that.
I think my biggest disappointment.
When-
We gotta wait until Shinji can grow up, and then we can yell and bitch at him to get in the goddamn robot.
When you look at one day in the sky, when you look at one day in the sky and you see rainbows in a circular fashion, you know.
I'll be like, the
what's
door of
happening.
Guff, man. Damn it.
Anyway,
with that being
With
said,
that, I think
With
we're
that.
good to wrap
I
it
think
up.
we should close the doors of Guff and end this podcast, though.
yeah, on a more depressing note.
No, that's not depressing. It's beautiful.
it's perfect.
Death and rebirth.
Because
Okay. All right.
Symbolism.
So, Gart, why don't you take us out?
Okay, so I hope you enjoy this podcast, and again, we all look forward to seeing you at ASEN 2014.
Yes.
That probably will be the end of the world, because
That
is
probably
when
will be, because that'll be
That
the
is-
collision of worlds.
yeah, that will be the collision of four worlds coming together in Chicago.
Yeah.
So if you happen to be in Chicago, you can join us for the Second Impact. And with me today has been Holden from Holden Reviews,
Yeah. It's been great talking, guys, and I'll see you guys later.
Tristan from Glass Reflection,
That's gonna be something I do. If they approve our panel, we're gonna call it PodTaku the Second Impact.
Second
Yes,
Impact.
it's
We have
official.
to. We have to.
Anyway, yeah, stay
What was
frosty
the
and all
fir-
that.
Was PodTaku the first Impact then?
Of
Yeah.
course.
Yes.
Of course.
All right, and Gene from Anime Appraisal.
All right, guys, and until next time.
And I've been Gig Up from the Anime Zone, and yes, have a good night. Or day. Or whatever the fuck you're listening to this. In the toilet, wanking,
winter.
masturbating, shitting. I don't fucking know. Have a good night.
Maybe you're watching Space Dandy.
Later.
You should be watching Space Dandy.
Funimation, you should be watching.